Meetings, a topic built and unbuilt interactions of the child in an urban village, a reason for hope. Authored by Aruna Bhardwaj, professor and PhD scholar at Sushant University, and Juhi Malpani Bhatt, independent consultant planner and visiting faculty at Sushant School of Art and Architecture, Sushant University. The discourse on the agenda for child-friendly cities is gaining momentum within India. Various endeavors and publications from the government, such as the National Action Plan for Children 2016, Safe Children, Happy Childhoods by the Ministry of Women and Child Welfare, and the status of children in urban India, the baseline study 2018 by NIUA, also the Urban 95 Agenda under the Bernard Van Leer Foundation initiative. The planning of our future city should be guided by the well-being and development needs of the children as they translate into a framework of sustainability, tagging the SDG goals and stronger social structure. But the cities in India are characterized by typified juxtaposition of dichotomies such as planned, unplanned, organic, structured, legal, illegal, undefined and defined settlements. This reality, when viewed through the child-friendly lens, is not only complex, but is perceived to be dismal and belligerent. The child-friendly approach, thus, is restricted to provision of schools, anganwadis, health centers, toddlers, playgrounds, and other infrastructure, coupled by the call for safe streets. But here in this paper, we look a little deeper into the existing contextuality and culturally informed design that helps our children to grow into emotionally and physically healthy individuals, relooking at the urban village as a space to learn new pointers from.
As the cities grow, there is an increasing focus into providing better basic amenities and lifestyle choices to the population. SDG 11 also ensures that we make cities and human settlements inclusive, safe and resilient, and sustainable. Many efforts are being made towards making our cities child-friendly also. A lot of work is being done towards understanding and implementing innovative ideas that lead toward providing better developmental goals, both physically and mentally for the children. But the needs of a child vary across age groups. While an infant needs constant attention of the caregiver, the teenager stepping into adulthood needs to be more independent and have reasonable exposure to opportunities. This greatly influences the design interventions required for child-friendly city planning. As explained in detail in the UNICEF publication, Shaping Urbanization for Children, a handbook of child-responsive urban planning, published in May 2018. It categorizes each scale into age groups, outlining infrastructure and amenities relevant for all particular age groups. As we look at the core components of child-friendly development, the key factors defining them are health and education, safety and security, economic prosperity, participatory and equal, resilient and sustainable. But at the center of this approach are key elements of vibrant and inclusive social environment, culture and belonging, a strong sense of community. It is important to understand that for a healthy child, a child-friendly neighborhood development is mandatory to have engaged communities with combination of quality infrastructure. Principles for the base concept of such a neighborhood is proposed in draft social infrastructure strategy of Gurgaon Metropolitan Development Authority. Base principles of the same are shortening distances. The concept is based on 15-minute city promoted by Paris Global Forum of Mayors, where city prioritizes neighborhoods which can be accessed through walking and cycling. This, when achieved, promotes a healthy and quality lifestyle for the citizens. Appropriate design. Inclusive design strategies play a pivotal role in shaping spaces and influencing collaboration and community participation. Child-centric planning further enables communities to support and nurture vulnerable groups such as children. The fourth principle being promoting diversities. It is important to integrate diversities at the core of social infrastructure to create opportunities and promote global platforms. The fourth and the last base principle is optimizing densities. Studies of high-dense settlements conclude that they support community living along reduced cost of basic infrastructure. The same can be seen in the traditional urban settlements, which have now, many of which have now turned into urban villages.
Anxieties, reinterpreting risk and resilience. Parents of children voice concern regarding child safety, irrespective of their economic background. But the city as a danger zone, is it a myth or is it a reality? Degraded urban spaces restrict the child's social and psychological abilities to develop in a healthy way and are perceived at high risk. Poverty hinders social and emotional development. Teaching stranger danger is an integral part of children's development today. But child-friendly discourse identifies the core value for social infrastructure to be able to acknowledge and value diverse class and social groups. A study by Gupta and Verma, 1995, identified strong stress coping mechanisms that street children relied on to combat different situations by connecting with their peers and family members. Assessment of parental perceptions of the neighborhood environment in Kenya revealed that more than 50% of the parents believed that people helped each other in the neighborhood, and in general, they trusted their neighbors. Over 80% agreed that shopping areas were within walking distance. Family framework provides close community ties, is the underpinning structure for all children and fosters a sense of belonging at the place of residence and place of education and place of play, invariably translating into strong associations with their surroundings. This mitigates risk and promotes resilience. Ghatagaon, our area of study. Ghatagaon, one of the 3 town areas of Gurgaon in the past, has recently come within the ambit of Municipal Corporation of Gurgaon. It's presently in Zone 3, Ward 30 of Gurugram Municipal Area. As per the census, Ghata's population was, census 2011, was 2,128, while today the ex-Panchayat head estimates approximately 12,000 residents in the area. Out of this, at a safer estimate, 30% are children. This rapidly growing locality has a mix of residential typologies propagated by the Lal Dora rule, which is atypical of our urban villages. The original village area has modified traditional standalone houses. It has multi-family dwelling units, the new plotted 4-story apartment block with still parking, and it even has enclosed apartment housing on large land holdings. It has organic street networks and still not that overcrowded by automobiles today. However, the periphery of the village has seen a complete opposite transformation. Cheap tenements of temporary construction, single dwelling units, fulfill the need for affordable EWS accommodation for the burgeoning number of contract workers. Today, many of these residents have completed over a decade in these tenements along with their families, including children. As per UNICEF handbook, Shaping Urbanization for Children, core components used by child development experts and urban planners can be merged to create a child-responsive urban setting, which are defined by a framework as 5 benefits. Health. Child-responsive urban settings are clean and sustain children's behavior to grow healthy and strong. Safety. Child-responsive urban settings are safe and sustain children by being risk-informed. Citizenship. Child-responsive urban settings are inclusive of all society and empower children to participate in the decision-making to encourage civic trust, engagement, and connectivity. Environment. Urban settings, child-responsive, are environmentally sustainable. They foster children to protect the environment and become ambassadors for a safe and green planet. Finally, prosperity. Child-responsive urban settings ensure a decent standard of living with access to education and affordable urban services. They support children's life skills and access to job market. The first benefit, health. Interviews with the children revealed that they were aware of the unhealthy attributes of the surrounding, such as overflowing garbage dumps, unpaved streets, and the broken sewage covers, and the resulting impact on their physical health. However, the value that they assigned to it was matter of fact and not something on top of their priority list. Children spend more time outside versus indoors, walking from place to place. They displayed a natural immunity to common ailments. Interestingly, with the interactions with children highlighted a strong, healthy attitude towards their own selves due to the support they were provided by very strong peer networks, also, which made them confident of their place in the settlement. Most of them interacted in groups with the author, laughing and adding to each other's answers. The ability to overcome adversaries on their own merit was an interesting aspect noticed by the researchers. The second attribute, safety, was directly linked to the spatial organization of the settlement of the EWS colony. The, due to the illegal but planned growth, dense street networks, high densities, low-rise areas, the family members, which had family members per single household units with an average of 5 to 6 persons, and shared facilities, water and sanitation. Each of these housing units created clusters that created a situation of invisible boundaries. These boundaries, defined by shared streets, row houses, tenements, created a semi-public open space where a number of activities like sitting, chatting, studying, preparation of meals, playing could take place. The main street, which allowed automobile movement, acts like a spine, organizing these clusters and creating a hierarchy with varied degrees of publicness. This translates into a high number of people on the streets and semi-public areas. In addition, more eyes on the street make the community safer during both day and night time. This also fosters the stronger social relationships that help locate children whereabouts, reducing perceived risk.
The third attribute is of citizenship, which can be interpreted as a sense of belonging to an area. Most housing in Ghata is affordable rental housing. This hence is a temporary residence for most of its inhabitants. Despite this temporality, there are strong community networks which are fostered through a day-to-day interaction among residents, the cultural environment of the place, and celebration of festivals together. This brings a strong sense of citizenship to the area and also builds up a strong community background for the children. The fourth attribute is environment. The environment in which children are growing lacks any kind of climate responsive infrastructure, which makes children more aware of the nature and surroundings. A collaborative community engagement with participatory research in Asia for Adaptation Research Alliance, a microgrant project between January 2022 and to April 2022, showcased community-based participatory methods. It identified that the residents were aware of the degradation of the environment that had occurred in the past 2 decades. The children post this engagement acknowledged that there was a need for the community to be more responsible. They have taken it upon themselves to stress the message to the community at large. The final attribute is of prosperity. Prosperity need not be measured always in economic terms. It can also be seen as growth, a steady growth in terms of education, in terms of learning, in terms of career prospects. The view that the urban settings should provide certain basic level of infrastructure as a right or legal obligation is limited and in its outlook. The context of our cities that are varied from the developed world needs to be acknowledged. Prosperity definitely is lacking in economic terms in the area, but the children are willing to change their reality. They are aspiring to grow, take risks, and improve their lifestyle choices despite challenges offered to them. Here we present a video which showcases to us where through the conversations with children in the area, how they are exploring more opportunities to get a better lifestyle for themselves.
कौन सी क्लास में हो? कितना देर?
10th कर रहे हो? कहाँ से कर रहे हो? गवर्नमेंट।
कितने साल पढ़ाई कर ली?
6 साल हो गए। इस स्कूल में वैसे तो 10वीं में हो तो 10 साल तो हो ही गए। तो मतलब 10वीं के 10 साल नहीं, मतलब आगे छोड़ के आए थे ना। अच्छा,
कहाँ से आए थे?
हम आए थे गांव से।
हाँ,
यूपी से आए थे तो यहाँ मुझे दिया था 4th क्लास में एंट्री मिल गई थी मेरे को यहाँ पे। हाँ तब से पढ़ते हैं।
नाम क्या है आपका?
धीरज।
तो फिर तुम क्या सोच रहे हो
आगे क्या करोगे?
अभी?
आगे क्या करना है, आगे वही करेंगे, इंजीनियरिंग करेंगे।
अरे
वेरी गुड।
गुड।
हाँ हाँ कंप्यूटर, अच्छा हाँ सॉफ्टवेयर। सॉफ्टवेयर के बारे में स्कूल में पढ़ा रहे हैं ये लोग?
अभी मतलब एजुकेशन उतना नहीं है ना, जैसे 10th के बाद जो पढ़ाई होगी वो होगा उसके लिए।
हाँ
फिलहाल में तभी
और आपको
बस
कैसे लगा कि आपको सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर बनना है?
मतलब मैंने देखा है, कॉमनली लोगों को देखा ना,
अच्छा
तो कुछ मतलब मैंने पहले तो सोचा कि इंस्पेक्टर मतलब पुलिस वाले बनने का, लेकिन बट चेंज माइंड का कोई भरोसा नहीं कब चेंज हो जाए। मैंने फिर कहा कि सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियरिंग फाइनल कर लेते हैं, तो वही सोचा।
चलो, पर तुम्हारे साथ ऐसे लोग हैं, ऐसे सोच रहे हैं आगे क्या क्या करना है?
हाँ है, बच्चे हैं मेरे साथ हैं।
और लड़कियां भी कर रही हैं?
लड़कियां भी हैं।
हाँ
हाँ
अच्छा।
So this video also has showcased to us that prosperity need not really mean an upgradation of economic lifestyle. It can also mean the aspiration, the growth in the aspirations and achievement of certain goals by children. Child-friendly environments cannot be a result of progressive dehumanization of the urban space that the loss of knowing a place may create as an impact on our children, whose place-based encounters have been severely limited. As we come to the conclusion, we realize the child is not just a vulnerable member of the society, but also an integral to its stakeholding. Equity needs to be established for all age groups within the society, but also needs to be understood in depth as to what it would be defined at various levels of provisions. Walkability, bikeability, access to nature, access to amenities, public safety, along with access to quality education and childcare form the base for strong model of child-friendly cities. But social infrastructure needs a deeper investigation to be understood. Strong community networks, eyes on street, safe and secure environment, culture and belongingness to the area, vibrant social environment despite lack of public spaces, resilience and ability to take risks are also form a strong foundation for a child-friendly environment.
Finally, our learnings. Urban villages provide an ecosystem that works. It's about bringing life to more locally centered and human-centered environments. Due to its atypical characteristics of easy accessibility, self-containment, and high social engagement, the urban village provides a contrary aspect to the standard version of tower living that we are seeing in Gurugram and large properties that do make for a great base to grow and do not make a great base to grow and nurture human connections. The physicality of the present development planned that we are seeing is enlarging but isolating. The example of Ghatagaon urban villages showcases strong networks of people throughout their close confined shared facilities, community events, and places of worship. This results in children interacting and strengthening their personal connections with each other, the community, and the city at large. They belong, not only on paper, but in real. Despite the organic need-based businesses, insufficient community services, and conflicting power organizations located in the urban village, the urban village provides eyes on streets and constant supervision for the children who are occupying the street, playing in the street, and living in these streets. By no measure, the author over here are talking about the availability or not providing facilities and basic infrastructure to these children, but there is learnings that one can take and look at, relook at what planned development needs to be. Urban villages get people participating, connecting, and living locally. They create a myriad of personal opportunities where new interests, friendships, and even future opportunities can be discovered, explored, and grown, if only we consider them as areas for potential development and we look at the urban village a little more carefully. This paper is an output of ongoing research and inquiry by the authors into the broader subject of child-friendly city planning. The authors also acknowledge the contribution of faculty and masters of architecture students of interior architecture, landscape architecture, and built heritage program of SAA, Sushant University, for providing data for inferences done during their community service project in collaboration with Participatory Research in Asia, PRIA, for Adaptation Research Alliance, microgrant project between the period January 2022 to April 2022. Finally, I would like to thank all my colleague, Juhi Malpani Bhatt, for being a very integral part of this process. And we also thank the Urban Village Charitable Trust for giving us this opportunity to present our work. Thank you.